Shalom, shalom. I want to begin a lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double blessings and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Back here with another lesson through the spirit, man. Just going to be talking about an article that came across my feed today. This one I just seen when I was looking through articles. I seen some earlier articles. One talking about, and we can really go through it really honestly, bro. Clear that out. Bear with me, man. These are just some of the ones I seen because it actually is a good bit of things going on in the news right now too. But I just kind of wanted to shift the focus. So like I said in my lesson the other day, that earthquake that happened, that took place, was a tsunami threat. Was like a top 10 most powerful earthquakes of all time. 23 injured after theme park ride breaks in half and crashes to the ground. I seen a video on that earlier today. At least 6 killed in Russian overnight strikes on Kyiv. And then there's also an article, there was also an article that where it's like 50-some soldiers died in an attack yesterday. Oh yeah, dozens dead as violence erupts over government plans to eliminate fuel subsidies. Army takes to streets. At least 37 killed, 270 injured while seeking aid in northern Gaza hospital, which has been going on. I did a lesson on the Islamist terrorist attack on the Christian African church. Let me see. Over 30 killed and more than 80,000 relocated after massive floods tear through Chinese capital. Still no power or signal now. It seems like it's always flooding over there in those Asian countries, man. So those are just a few things that I've seen pop up on my news feed, amongst other things. But I seen this and was not shocked, but it seemed interesting to me. So I kind of skimmed through the article. It's a lot if I keep doing these pauses. I just woke up. Wasn't even from my nap. I actually fell asleep. So I might yawn here and there, but it's a lot for that. But yeah, I Googled and searched up this article in this case or whatnot, and I skimmed through it just to make sure that this wasn't anything that was old, because sometimes you'll have articles pop up on your feed and it'll be discussing things like this, and it'll be from a few years ago, and it'll just basically be like an update of them settling or making a decision on a prior case, which this isn't what that is. This just happened this past month in June. So I'm just gonna warn y'all, this woman's dressed like a whore. But nonetheless, I want to say fair use, Copyright Act under copyright disclaimer under 1976. I'm not using this with the articles or any of the information that I'm showing in this video for monetary gain. I'm indeed not making a single dime, cent, or penny on this video. No money at all. This is for educational purposes only, to edify those out there listening and watching. So with that being said, YouTube, please do not take this video down. I'm only showing these articles or any information I pull up in this video as a means of instruction. So with that being said, let's get into it. And it reads, missing head of boyfriend murdered and dismembered by Beauty and the Geek star Tamika Chesser is found by dog walker. Now, I'm not familiar with this person. Nonetheless, though, like I said, it caught my attention. Now, it says the loose dome belonged to Julian Story, 39, who was allegedly deleted by partner Tamika Chesser, 34, in South Australia. Like I said, it's a little NSFW, but then again, this is how women dress nowadays. It says Tamika Chesser appeared on Series 2 of the show in 2010, so she must be someone known overseas, I guess. It says Chesser has been charged for murder, but is being kept in a mental health facility. It says police have found the head of Julian Story. And the credit goes to South Australia police. So it says a dog and its owner walking through scrubland in Port Lincoln, about 250 kilometers or 155 miles west of Adelaide, made the grisly discovery when the pooch ran off and didn't return. SA Police Major Crime Boss Darren Felke said on Thursday, earlier today, police received information from a member of the public in Port Lincoln that they had located in a scrub area what appeared to be a human skull. There are some walking tracks through there. My understanding is the person who contacted us today was walking their dog in the area. The dog ran off into the scrub. It didn't come back when called. They had to walk into the scrub area to find it, which is talking about the head. The remains were not buried. They were quite out in the open. Right. And there's a reason why on this channel we talk about women the way we do, man. Right? Society through the years have led us to believe that women are very delicate, innocent creatures, gentle creatures and whatnot, right? And truthfully speaking, that's how they're supposed to be. That's how they are supposed to be, right? Because they are the weaker vessel. But that's not the case in this society, right? There are indeed wicked women out here. A lot of them are wicked. Okay, I'm not saying all women are wicked, but a lot of them are wicked, right? I even seen a post today, actually, that said that 1 in 3 women are mentally insane. And I wonder if that's a fact or not. So like, all right. Let's see if that's true or not. Overview. It says several recent studies have investigated the prevalence of mental illness among women okay, that's not what I was talking about. All right, well, let's just say that article was inaccurate. But I honestly could see that, man. Because there are a lot of women that do have, that suffer from mental illness have demons and spirits on them, man. You gotta remember, man. And I even did a lesson on women earlier this week. But I actually did see a video where it was an older Jake woman talking about how women try and be like men, and she was giving a demonstration of the difference between a woman trying to be like a man, right, and a man always being a player, and a woman trying to replicate that, and how they cannot do that, right? And you do have a lot of women out here who try and do that, who catch a lot of bodies, who sleep around with a lot of men, and then wonder why they act the way they act, because they have all these different demons on them from sleeping around with different men. Not knowing that whenever a woman lays down with a man, and this is a fact, they retain DNA from that man that stays with them forever. You can Google that. That is a fact. Okay? And especially if you all are letting men come inside of you unprotected and then leaving his seed inside of you. That's multiple men. Okay? So your inside is a breeding ground for basically pollution at this point. Which is why a lot of these women have demons on them. They're crazy and mentally challenged. Not as in the sense of they have a disability, but they're not right in the head, is what I'm saying. So it reads, that's the reason why a lot of women are the way they are, though. And if you tell a woman that, well, the reason why you act the way you act, or you have these things going on, is because you sleep around with multiple men because you're a hoe, she will deny it. She will cuss you out and tell you that you're being ridiculous, okay? Which is an actual fact. And it's a reason why those things come upon y'all, because y'all were not made to do those things. You were meant to be with one man. And that's that. They can't get over that fact because society has led them to believe that they are indeed equal to a man, which is not true, okay? We both have our roles and we are not equal. So let me get this. But yeah, so going back to my original point, like I said, the society has led us to think that they are innocent creatures. They can't do no harm. You know, growing up, you used to even think like women don't even fart. They don't shit. Meanwhile, they shit stinks worse than a grown man, right? Once you actually come up and start learning things and get experience to the real world and seeing them for who they actually are, you understand these things, right? They shit smells worse than a grown man, right? They smell worse than us. They get funkier quicker than us, right? Downstairs don't smell right. All these things play into, number one, the curses for our women for sure, because that's spoken of in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. Then number two, just being misled for years, man. You're supposed to cater to the woman and do all these other things that are prize, which I don't really like that prize talk because it's kind of stupid to me. But yeah, you're supposed to cater to the woman. Happy wife, happy life, that bullshit. And it's a reason why, like I said, we talk about women the way we talk about them, because the Bible will really tell you how these women act, how to deal with them, and how to what's the word I'm looking for? How to conduct yourself around them, how to see the signs, whether or not she's a whore or not, off the back, right? It gives you discernment, and it gives you the ability to see through a lot of things that you would have missed if you were in the world while dealing with women and just people in general, man. So it gives you good insight, man. There's lots of books speaking on the wickedness of women, how they act, how to conduct yourself around them and whatnot. And that's the reason why we talk the way we talk about it, because we're bringing out hardcore facts. It's coming out the Bible, man. The most accurate book ever made. So there's no denying that. Let's get this. It says they had to walk into the scrub area to find it. The remains were not buried, they were quite out in the open. The remains are now set to be tested and forensically confirmed as those of Julian's. And like I said, I googled this article and whatnot, and it is very new. Reports of it are coming from the past 24 hours, right? So no matter how beautiful or how good looking a woman is, that does not mean that she's innocent. A lot of the good looking women are the ones who have the problems, honestly, man. And that's not to say that the ugly ones are the ones that look lesser don't have those same problems, but like I'm saying, man, once you get into it, man, it's like it starts to make sense. And it's really eye opening, to tell you the truth. You know, a lot of these, and one of my favorite YouTubers said it the best. A lot of these pretty women and all this stuff, bad bitches, they be with the dirtiest niggas. They be the ones who be having the diseases and stuff, and the women are the ones who be spreading that shit. Right? They be the ones who have it and don't know. They don't have the signs. It's not telltale. But a lot of these pretty women, they get attention from the niggas with money. The niggas with money are dirty as hell. They fuck and do all these other things, don't wear protection, and spread forth diseases throughout the land, doing a whole bunch of abominable things. And that's the reason why this type of plagues spread throughout the earth. Like I said, man, that's not subject or only concerning the pretty looking women. Of course, it can happen to other women, but a lot of times it do be those women, man. You look at them and you think to yourself, oh, she pretty, she's bad, all these other things. I bet it smells like rainbows and peaches down there. And meanwhile, the bitch funky as shit. Let me get this, man. This is one of the first precepts that came to my mind when I read the title. And it reads, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 25. Oh, we can start at verse 26. Or you can read up above that. But this is my point. As far as 25. It says, I applied my heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things and to know the wickedness of folly, which is foolishness, even of foolishness and madness. And my point, and I find more bitter than death the woman, man. So this is the wisest man of all time, right? This is King Solomon talking, who through the Spirit was Yahushua. He said that he find more bitter than death a woman. Mind you, this man had 700 wives and 300 concubines. So he's dealt with 1,000 cases and probably even more than those, 1,000 accounts of women. So we can just say he most likely knows what he's talking about. Whose heart is snares and nets, and snares are traps, man. You know, snares and traps, right? Things that'll make you fall or stumble, stumbling blocks. In her hands as bands, whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, right? So if you're doing the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, doing what you're supposed to do, the Lord is going to keep you away from this type of energy, these type of spirits, man. That's why it reads, a wicked woman is given unto the portion of a wicked man. And you pray that you don't have to deal with these wicked ass women, man. Because I'm telling you, it is not fun. It is not. It is not fun. But the sinner shall be taken by her, right? And there have been many men that lost their wish for women, and many men have had a downfall because of a woman, man. And you even see this in today's society, man. Take this article, as an example, this man lost his life at what? At the hands of a woman. She beheaded this nigga. Literally beheaded him. So it's definitely a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power, because that's overall who did this to this guy, or whenever it comes to things like this, right? You have a video that came out a few weeks ago, not even a few weeks ago, this was last week, of a guy who was in a bedroom with a woman, and an ex-boyfriend was trying to get into the room or whatnot. So you have two niggas fighting over a woman, number one. That never ends well. Two niggas fighting over a woman. Let me say it again. That never ends well. The nigga's trying to get into the room. The girl opens the door, right, which you could say that this is set up. I wouldn't even be surprised. Women do shit like this, man. They don't care. Women do shit like this. They don't care. She opens the door, or he opens the door, whichever one. I believe she might have opened it. I can't remember off the top of my head. She steps, and the nigga is sitting on the bed pointing the gun at the dude. She steps, and he tells her to step out the way, and he shoots the nigga 2 times, and then she closes the door, right? Things like this happen because men lose their wits over women. And you have a lot of pussy whipped niggas out here who don't know how to think straight. It says, I discovered that a seductive woman is a trap more bitter than death. Her passion is a snare, and her soft hands are chains. Those who are pleasing to the Most High will escape her, but sinners will be caught in her snare. And now that I mentioned it, I don't know how to do this. Let me see. Yeah. This is This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 23. And it reads, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. And I did want to get this one too while I'm there, which I can pull this up in the GNT as well while I'm at it. Sirach 26 and 23. In the Good News Translation, they want to cut it off. See, Esau Edom don't want this truth to come out, man. And that's okay. We'll get the other verse. See, they cut out verse 12 right above that. The fear. This is Ecclesiastes 25 and 12 in the KJV, in the Apocrypha. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him, right? Because faith is the belief of the unknown. It's believing in things that you cannot see. And through the book of Corinthians, we know that the unseen is more powerful than the seen, right? Because the things that are seen are temporal. The things that are unseen are eternal. Going down to verse 13, it says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. And going back to the GNT, it says, no wound is as serious as wounded love. No troubles are as serious as the troubles that women cause, right? So we're supposed to deal with these women gentle, delicately, all these other things. When I'm telling you, it comes to a point where you go through life looking at them as a headache, man, because that's really what they are at the end of the day. Get more peace when you're not dealing with women. You get a lot more peace when you're not dealing with women. Because they don't, it's very, very hard in this society, man. And we're not going to get these things until Jacob's trouble in the kingdom, to where a woman does not worry the shit out of you or beg and complain and do all of these other things, right? Because they don't bring, it's very hard to find a woman that brings you peace, especially today. If you found that if a woman who if the if a woman if a woman brings you peace, truly brings you peace, then that is indeed a blessing from the Lord, right? A virtuous woman. And it says that in those scriptures that I was just in, right? But really, a lot of us brothers, you know what I'm saying, Lord willing, we'll be at a number, of course, are not going to experience that for the majority of women. Like all women are going to be in this state, or a majority of them, if not all, are going to be in that state to where they bring you peace until Jacob's trouble. And you're not going to have to hear about them or worry about taking care of them, because they're going to be taking care of themselves. They just want the protection of a man, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is when we're going, like it reads in the book of Daniel chapter 12 verse 4, I want to say, where we're going to shine bright. We're going to shine bright, man. Lord willing, will be that number, of course. So it says the remains are now set to be tested and forensically confirmed as those of Julian's. Fauci said Julian's family have been contacted today and provided an update in relation to what has been located and what the ongoing process is from here. Hopefully we can give them some comfort that we have found all the remains of Julian. Officers made the grim discovery last week after responding to reports of a small fire. Chester was arrested 2 days later under the Mental Health Act and charged with murder. Cops are yet to interview her, with the reality TV star being kept in a mental health facility. She appeared in Port Lincoln Magistrates Court via video link on Thursday for 3 separate matters. Last month, police circulated CCTV footage and stills of a woman alleged to be Chester strolling through Port Lincoln hours after the alleged murder. The woman was seen with 3 dogs, dressed head to toe, in black with a head covering, cops said. Court documents reveal officers found Chester sitting in the back garden of the property in a catatonic and unresponsive state before arresting her. It says the couple lived west of Adelaide in South Australia. It says cops released CCTV footage of the suspect. And you look at how she's posing all cute and shit like that. And honestly, she's not a bad-looking woman. Right here, I don't really like that because it's blonde hair. But facial-wise, you know what I'm saying, she's not a bad-looking woman. If that's, if you know what I'm saying, that's your taste or whatnot. I know some brothers don't dibble dabble in the snow, man. But let me see. This is verse 16. Let's read 25 and 13 again. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, and any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman, man. Let me say that again, because these are things that you're not going to hear in church, right? You're going to hear, love thy woman or treat thy woman the way you should be treated. They're going to bring out the scriptures, the good scriptures. They're not going to bring out the scriptures that condemn women. They're not. It says, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon. So they're saying that they would rather be in the house with a lion, a actual lion or a dragon, than to be in a house with a wicked woman, man. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. So when he sit amongst his neighbors, he hear his woman coming. You hear that? You hear that sigh of despair, as I like to call it. That sigh of despair, man. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman, that the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Like I said before, continuing on, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. Like I said, that's what I was saying. The beauty, man. You can't let that, you can't look upon that and determine how a woman's gonna act or whatnot. You can't let that lull you to sleep. It says she's also been charged with disposing of human remains to pervert the course of justice and assaulting a police officer. The Telegraph reports. Police have said there is no obvious motive, with Assistant Commissioner Ian Parrott admitting there were still a lot of unanswered questions in what he described as a complex crime scene. Says, police have said there's no obvious motive, with Assistant Commissioner Ian Parrott admitting there were still a lot of unanswered questions in what he described as a complex crime scene. Chester's sister, Kia May, claimed her family is shattered by reports she had been charged with murder. They told Daily Mail Australia, please report how my sister is in a mental psychosis. This is not her. She will never do these things, right? And I have a precept concerning that as well, man. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 39 and verse 28, and it reads, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they power out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them, right? So there is indeed cases or the ability of spirits or demons having the ability to jump on people and put them in a different mind state and control them, man. And that could very much be one of those cases, because this woman brought forth judgment upon her husband, and the Lord used her as a means to bring forth that judgment, right? Spirits, like I said, and demons can hop on people and they start acting completely different. So I would not be surprised if that was the case. It reads, it says, it's a lucky, man, I was just interrupted. She added her sister had suffered a life of trauma and abuse, and now this. It has fried her brain. Meanwhile, my Story's grieving family has thanked the police. Mr. Story's grieving family has thanked police, emergency workers, and the community for their support during what they called an unimaginable loss. Chester appeared on season 2 of the hit show in 2010. Okay, so, and she was 19, right? So you're hearing more and more of these domestic violence stories and stories of women deleting their husbands, and vice versa, man. And this is in the scriptures, man. I'm gonna end it off with this. It reads, This is the book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34, and it's in the red letter so we know Yahweh Shah spoke it. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be of his own household," meaning a man's enemy shall be in his own household, man. So, like I was saying, man, this is coming more and more prevalent and common, right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. I'm going to close it off there. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakodash. Double blessing and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And until next time, I say Shalom Israel, Shalom. And as always, we're one day close to the kingdom, man. And the early Shabbat Shalom, because tonight is the Sabbath, man. So Shalom.